Okay. All right, welcome. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're here today live. This is my first Facebook Live, so I ask anyone who's listening, try not to pick too many jokes at me, but I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm joined here by my wonderful colega across the system, Profesora Maribel Ternate. And we're just going to walk you through a few things about the Enseñamos Colección de Arte project that we're working on. This is just something very close to us, something that we both just birthed out of our love for art, our love for cultura, our love for working as educators with people of all ages. And so today we're just going to talk a little bit about this exciting campaign that we're both excited about, and just some basic information. Who is this for? This is really designed for K-12 educators in the community who work with young people in Fresno, Kings, Madera, and Tulare counties. So these are areas that we serve, and these are areas that, you know, we want to be fair and, you know, what these, the perspectives of these communities. And the idea is what we're doing is we're trying to lift up teachers, to work with youth and co-constructing art that answers the overarching question of ¿Qué significa enseñar en el Valle Central? What does it mean to teach in the Central Valley? As an initiative, we are, as you'll see on our Facebook page, a lot about us. We are a collaboration with Fresno City and Reedley College. This is about being a Hispanic serving institution, and in our name itself, Enseñamos en el Valle Central, we are, you know, constantly thinking about what does that really mean. And so this art, this Colección de Arte is one of those things to help us to think about that. When it's open now, September 9th through October 22nd. So please begin submitting. How do you do that? Watch this video. Throughout, I'm going to share a few just visuals here. These little QR codes are things that you can put your phone up to, and it'll take you to resources and websites. We have a wonderful tutorial on a website that we created just for this project. Shout out to Gladys Villanueva for putting together an amazing just tutorial. So go to that site. It'll help you get some resources. I'm going to roll through a few other resources, and let's just talk a little bit about the history, right? The history of artists. You know, I point a lot to the codices, and you know, just this long history. The codices are these very significant pre-colonial writing systems that document, you know, cultural practices among Aztec, Mexica, Maya peoples, right? Their ways of knowing and being. And these codices and the history they teach us really span from before Spanish conquest and throughout the colonial era. And, you know, these peoples, our peoples, many people listening who, you know, invoke and always, you know, go back to their indigenous roots and ancestors. This is a really, using pictorial depictions to document is very much a historical and even, you know, contemporary today, right, practice. And so I want to really highlight the, you know, a very important figure, the Tlacuilo, right, one who writes painting, right. The codices were produced by Tlacuilos, right, who transcribed. These were, that word translates to scribes, right, individuals who documented histories, rituals, laws, cultural worlds, right, pre-colonial and then post-colonial as well. And so these Tlacuilos were really, you know, nurtured, right? They were individuals who were nurtured as children and into adulthood to be barriers of cultural knowledge and to share that knowledge through visual representation, artistic expressions. And many of you have probably heard me and many others say that art spans, it speaks every language. And people, you know, who I'm in community with, we constantly really point to the beauty of art in that way. And you know, the Tlacuilo, I highlight that because it's really important to our project, because, you know, really, this isn't just an act of, you know, let's create this fun artwork, right? Of course, it's fun and it's really great. but there's a lot of also underlying things and connections that we can draw. And, and I think for educators, as you work with young people, in your classroom, in the community, to really approach your contribution to this Colección de Arte as though one of your young people, right? As though each of your young people that you're working with are tlacuilos, right? Who hold knowledge and perspectives that are important to our understanding of the world and our shared communities, right? Classrooms being one of those shared spaces. So definitely, think about that, like as being also part of what we're trying to promote and nurture. And you see this, right? So even following Spanish conquest, we continue to see art as this really important means for imparting knowledge of, history, people's experiences, right? And so here you see art by, the famous Diego Rivera, whose murals and art preserve the history of, in this piece, Tacuilos and the expansion and evolution of, various parts of Mesoamerica and peoples and the coming together, the collide, the choques of, of different cultures and peoples. And again, you continue to see just the preservation and just the honoring of indigeneity, but also the way that it's also bringing in the fluidity of identity, particularly in this case among Mesoamericans, the late Yolanda Lopez here, a perfect example. You see this, the use of art also really evolve, right? You see artists begin to almost bring these same kind of pictorial depictions into more, current day visuals, right? Things that we see occurring. And then you see some that are continuing to expand and provide, breathing life and color and, the bringing together of these very early art forms that are integral, and you see them evolve, right? You see them continuing to grow. You also see the preservation of history and culture through art and art and children's literature, right? Illustrators who are continuing that legacy and imparting that knowledge. And then you come around and you also, alongside these artistic expressions, you also see this, you see these post-colonial practices such as loteria, right? Which originated first in Italy, and then it kind of moves to Spain and then made its way to Mexico in the 1700s, 1769. And, it was initially played by colonial Mexican elite, and through time was eventually really embraced by all social classes. So you really begin seeing, again, the use of art just kind of morphing into this cultural practice, and something that, many here, right, no matter what background or you come from, this is very much has become it's just a, very, very visible and connector, right? Loteria is definitely something that you see people even now, and young people in particular, really connecting to. And again, you see the usage of art and the evolution of artistic expressions to describe, right, these culturally relevant phenomena. And through time, you see all of, you see different individuals and groups just bringing in and building on that, right? Talking about and using depictions more currently, right? And bringing it full circle. And, these are things that, we really, and again, as you go through this video, you'll see that each of these little QR codes are things that you can go back and that you can scan. It will take you to resources. If you're a teacher and you want to dig in a little more, there's some lesson plans also in there. Definitely use some of those. And if it inspires you, if you want to take this and go in a whole different direction, that's completely fine. This is for you and the young people who you work with to really make your own. And I want to end here, and then I want to jump in and bring my colega in to talk a little bit more, because she's done some of this work and continues to really elevate the coming together and the use of loteria. And so here we have a nice little tutorial. And so the idea is that as educators, that you're kind of going back and reflecting, you're working with young people, and that each of you will create your own loteria card, right, that responds to that initial overarching question of what does it mean to teach in the Central Valley, right? ¿Qué significa? And we literally will have a whole, just a dynamic well, we're going to call it an exhibit because Profesora Ternate really, we're confident that we're going to get a lot of submissions. But I'm going to hand it over to my colega. Let's jump in and let me bring it back to one of the earlier slides, if that's okay. As you talk, I'm going to go through some of the slides, if that's okay.
Perfect. And this is an incredible presentation here that Enseñamos en el Valle Central has really gotten to get all these resources for future educators. So definitely use it because you really get to see the history. And in all honesty, this is a really original source to connect to the culture for future generations. Right now, one of the images that we went over with the Diego Rivera and Yolanda Lopez, a lot of these images are more traditional, but one of the images that she showed was the millennial, which you could get at Target. Target sold out so fast because there is a huge interest on bringing the youth, bringing a connection to our culture or Latino culture, and just including an entire family. If you ask any of the Latino communities, they'll be like, oh yes, lotería con la abuelita, con el abuelito, con el vecino. So it really brings an entire community together, and it gives you the opportunity to learn something cultural and use it in your lesson plans. Because I believe here we have some QR codes to be able to get more information and more resources, but you could create your own, but it just gives you a glimpse of what you are able to do. I started doing loteria during the pandemic, and it was because I saw so many students stressed out. I saw so many community members that were really having a hard time being able to enjoy something positive. So the Latino Faculty and Staff Association at Fresno City College, we came up with this idea, well, let's bring something fun. Let's start connecting our community to our history, a little bit of cultural. And this is where the project started. We started working with Arte Americas, and Arte Americas has shared so much information, and they allow us to use their platform. And we now have an actual connection that we collaborate once a month. And every month we do a loteria game. It's a family loteria game. So I tell everyone, tell the abuelita to stop looking at the telenovela, because this is a great opportunity to just get connected with their culture and get to have something fun with their families and friends. And this is definitely something that you could use in any class setting. And like we said, the pictures could be alternated. You could create your own. And that's the whole purpose of this project. This collection of art, we want to represent our Central Valley and be able to bring something unique for our future educators, for our students, for our comunidad, because we are representing the entire community. It's not just us at the university or at Fresno City College. It is the entire community that we want to bring in. So definitely share all this information and get the family involved. Speak with the parents of your students, because many of them will probably want to participate as well. You want to say something else, Dr. Lopez?
Yeah, I think, this also makes us think about how, this idea of how important it is for young people to also learn about other cultures, right? We know that in the Central Valley that, Latino young people from all different parts of Latin America are the majority of our school children. And for even, young people, I know that we have a lot of educators who are, also constantly really wanting to know about the cultura, the history, and how to connect with students. And I think, in the spirit of also wanting to serve, to honor, to uplift all the things that, Professor Ternate just mentioned, for communities who this is part of their cultura and their history. It's also things that, that we know in working with, future and current educators, these are things, and community folks, these are things that I think we do believe that a lot of folks want to also know these things and to connect. And so this is, this is a larger community effort and collaboration, because these are the things that really, right, are meaningful to really seeing our young people and getting a glimpse in. And I think honoring the traditions, right, the evolution, like we just talked about, the use of art has evolved, over the years, and it continues to come up. We see, we just see this presence. And so, I just go back to this idea of, what does it look like for educators, for us to see young people as taquilos, right? As bearers of knowledge, as, people and who are also bearers of knowledge of their own familias, of their own communities, and who, really can give us a lot of insight and understanding. And so again, we go back, and this is just a way, this is just one of many ways that we, hope to engage and to encourage, current educators. If you're a future educator and you want to work with other educators, that is fine too. We just really want to know the perspective, right? How do you use art to exemplify, to, respond to this question of qué significa enseñar en el Valle Central? What does it mean to teach in the Central Valley?
And I think another important aspect in that is that, we are a mixture. It's not just academic Spanish. We are a mixture of Spanglish. We are a mixture of code switching. So that's what we really want this project to represent. This is where you have the creativity to just, give a word, learn the language, give us the language that you use with your familia. If nobody else in a Spanish dictionary says that, oh, el chunde, well, in my dialect, in my community, el chunde is the basket that you used to go get the harvest from. So, express your dialect. This is the perfect time to express and share with the students, because a lot of the times when you are in a language course, you're teaching, we tend to just glorify just what it's in an academic, La Real Academia Española, but we want to embrace our culture here in the Valley, and we are a mixed pot when it comes to the Spanish language. And I think this is the opportunity to use your code switching and use your Spanglish and when you're creating your cards, and letting your students have that freedom as well. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And, as a Spanish educator, that's your world, right? And you're right, like, oftentimes, like young people are, they still go to school, and they're told, what is right and wrong, right? And you're absolutely right with the concept of academic, right, English, right? We're adding words to dictionaries every single year. And yes, and young people are translanguaging. It's, they're code switching, going in between two specific languages, but to Profesora Terrate's point, they're translanguaging. There are also things that are also very culturally bound, and they're situated, right? Like even within the Central Valley. And this is a moment to uplift, because, I know myself, we grew up here in the Central Valley, the both of us, and, you go away and you go to these other communities and people look at you sideways because maybe you say something that isn't even within, a different part of the state of California, right? Let alone other, other states and countries. So I think the spirit of what, Profesora Ternate is saying is so important. This is you. This is art as cultural expression, and language and terms, all of that. There's no right or wrong. I'm going to pop in the site that I had mentioned, right? So when you click this QR code here, it will take you to this site. And we actually created a site just for this project, Colección de Arte. And you, again, just walk through. There's a tutorial. This video, a video recording of this will also be posted. I think that I'm hearing from Profesora that we probably will need to do something exclusively in Spanish. We probably will bring in even some of our colleagues. We work with colleagues at Fresno State. We are a program that also provides bilingual authorizations in Hmong. So I think we may even have some of our colleagues who work with us in making this, just this accessible to other communities as well. But here is the page that will take you to the submission forms. It's in English and Spanish. Here's just a video. Click on this. Our colleague Gladys Villanueva did an amazing job just walking you through. If you're an educator and you're kind of new to doing stuff, graphically, Gladys walks you through Canva. You can just, kind of go through step by step, how to create a loteria card. You can do freehand. So if we have some folks out there, you're working with young people, you just want to do freehand, that's completely fine. You can just scan it and upload it. And again, resources will be on this page, including this recording and the PowerPoint that gives you a few links. And then what you see is when you visit our submission page here, crossing my fingers, all right, it does go well. So we have it in English and Spanish right now. We'll probably add one in Hmong as well, and other languages. So if you also would like to contribute and maybe have us do something in a language other than what we just noted, let us know. We can do that as well. What we're asking is, so for a teacher, a K-12 teacher, a community educator to be the primary contact, list your affiliation, school or organization, a contact email, and then we want to really separate students just mainly by age group, so that we also know who's submitting what. Give us a title, name your art piece, right? When Profesora does the Arte America Loteria card, you'll notice every card will have a name. You can name the term, you can provide an expression. This is for you. So think of the front cover of that Loteria card, what that card says, that's what you want to be shown on there. So when Profesora Ternate, pulls up your card, boom, that's what she's gonna say. So we do want you to upload the front, a copy of the front of your Loteria artwork. And again, this can be done on Canva or a program, or you can just scan something that you've put together, you've painted. Let's do a backside. So Profesora, talk about the backside, because this was your idea to write something on the back.
Yes, the whole idea with the backside is that in the traditional loteria games in Mexico, they usually make a riddle because they want to make it more challenging. It's not just calling out the name of the card anymore. People wanted to have a little bit more of a challenge. So instead of giving the name of the actual card, a riddle would be printed in the back. So you had to guess what the riddle is. So in this case, we would love to hear if you want to include either a short poem, an expression, a riddle yourself, a quote, something that really represents the image that you have created to that loteria card. It doesn't have to be just a name, it could have an actual expression at the back, and that really gives it more of a connection to our valley and to the people here and to an entire culture, because you get to really connect with everyone if you give them a little bit more of the representation of your artwork. It's like you're explaining to someone, this is my art, this is what I have created, and let me give you a little bit more, a little description more of why this is Enseñamos aquí en el Valle Central. This is what it means to me to be an educator here in the Valley. So definitely, I highly recommend that you consider doing a little brief description or a little riddle or poem.
little bit of history right there too. I love it. I love it. So important to know these little details, right? Just how it's just a perfect example of how culture and how people, just the fluidity of even something that like loteria, right? Just the rich history of it. So upload the back, and again, we provide here brief description, poem, quote, whatever your group is feeling. And then upload a short video that just acknowledges a team of artists, right, who took part. And tell us what inspired your team's process, right? What are things that are really important for us to know? This is where we really just want to humanize. We want to lift up the story and the things that really came into your art process. If you are working with minors under 18, just confirm, let us know that their parents, right, that their parents know that you're submitting a video that shows, if you show young people's faces, just make sure that you provide that consent. You can also just, list the names, right? So we'll leave that up to you. And please feel free to reach out if you are working with minors and you want to make sure that that we do this portion correct. Yeah.
I wanted also to add that this little video would mean so much, because a lot of the times if a student selects El Molinillo, they might draw the molinillo, and the molinillo reminds them, and this is where they have a chance, a platform to be able to express, I colored the molinillo because it reminds me of the chocolate that my abuelita would make for me, and she would use the molinillo, and this is how I learned how to make my chocolate, or I just love the chocolate that the abuelito or my mom. So it really gives them an opportunity to connect to, or to learn more about the students themselves. So I think this is a great opportunity for educators as well to get to connect with the students.
Yeah. And the last one is just to confirm, because I'm going to go back to the point that you just made right now, Maribel, but the last request on when you submit is to confirm that you give permission to publicly exhibit your finished art. And that speaks to what Professora is mentioning here, right? Is that, we do see ourselves, we have a team behind us. We have an amazing team of folks who want to curate this, want to elevate. And so we envision, first of all, bringing all of the finished pieces together digitally, providing them to Profesora Ternate. And I'm going to let you go on ahead and tell what will happen on November 19th.
Yes. So the goal is that once you create your loteria card, you give us all this art, and the goal is to make a gallery and use these images. I'm going to use the images that have been submitted, and we're going to play our own loteria. And this loteria will be the Central Valley Loteria game night that we will have for Arte Americas, and it's right after the Day of the Dead. So it's a perfect timing to really get to Fresno, Central Valley, meet yourself, know yourself, look at all the other representations from everyone. So I will be calling out your card during the Loteria game, and we will have prizes also. So make sure you join us.
Yeah, everyone loves prizes, huh? Yeah, and in terms of the finished art, we would really like to also, elevate it to that point, right? Provide spaces where parents of, our young people can come together and actually see their, their children's art. So I think the event on November 19th, and then potentially others. So we are in communication with our librarians to also showcase this at the Madden Library at Fresno State. How cool is that, right? You're a young person and you're a teacher working with young people, you're a community educator working with young people, and to have your work displayed in that way, for it to be honored. So Profesora Ternate is going to honor us on November 19th. So we're going to bring all of the submissions together to create tablas, and we'll be playing together during the Loteria, Noche de Loteria. So there will be that virtual event. but then we also will be planning on having spaces where these contributions are also just highlighted. And then of course that we're also thinking deeply, right, about, for those of us who are working with teachers, future teachers, current teachers, right, to really ask ourselves, right, are the perspectives that young people shared, in this submission, are we honoring those things when we are teaching, when we seek to teach, when we are co-teaching with young people? So this is hopefully a very simple site. Again, we will be continuing to put resources. This video will be posted here to this site. I think we're going to drop that in the Facebook Live comments. I don't know if there are any questions that are coming up on Facebook. I don't even know if anyone's watching us on Facebook, but we're watching each other. But go to this site and we will continue to build out this site. Again, this contest or this Colección is going to be open until October 22nd. I think I'll mention that too. We decided not to call this a contest because contest always implies a winner and a loser, and everyone's a winner, and honoring and building community is really our goal here. So just kind of reshifting over to calling this a Colección de Arte with the idea that it will also be part of these other gatherings was really important. Also list some themes here, like different themes to think about to get you started, right? But I think as the examples that we were sharing earlier, you see people going in all different directions, right, Maribel? Like people are constantly living in the world. And so those things are really important and equally important as a submission, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. It is really very abstract, and it could be any representation of what you believe it's an educator in the Central Valley. I could already see, well, I learned so much from my great grandma, and I could imagine her as a maestra, and although she never had the opportunity to go to school, she was a maestra to me. So I learned so much for her that I would definitely want to give her that spotlight, when she was teaching me how to make tamales, how she was doing all these other teachings that really connects me to my culture. So yes, the sky is the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. So please, again, we'll share this video. We'll share some of the resources you have. If you have resources and you would like to share some of those because you're working on your own loteria and you came across something, let us know. We definitely also want to be in community and sharing. I'm going to toggle back through because I want to go back to the very end, just give you a place to reach out and connect with us. Taking a little bit of time here, my apologies. Here's where to find us, right? So we will be providing this information. This QR code will take you to our broader website where you can also get to this specific page, but then also on social media. We will be tagging Arte Americas, other collaborators who are in. Tag us as well, right? So definitely, and Maribel, we should probably add that to maybe the Arte Americas handles to some of our flyers as well. So we're going to get that added because it's really important to elevate our collaborator, that space, that center, the work that Maribel and others are doing there with Arte, because that celebration, that Noche de Loteria is definitely going to be one that we want to make sure people don't have any problem. Start going to that website. But follow us, stay connected. Here's our email. Email us if you have any questions, if we can make things a little more accessible. I think we'll regroup. We'll probably do a few more videos, get some more flyers out there. All of that. Any final thoughts, words, ideas?
Do you have an example of a loteria that I believe Gladys helped make, a carta de loteria that she used on Canva that we could maybe share with the viewers, just to give them an idea. And like what we mentioned earlier is that it could be freestyle, pen and pencil, coloring book, but you could also use the digital platform as well.
Yeah, and I'll open this up really quick just so that we could, here's the fabulous Gladys right here getting ready. I feel like she's talking to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to just forward. So
Yeah,
here's an example.
The example,
as what you're saying here. So Gladys does an amazing job narrating. But in this video, she's going to walk you through using a free software like Canva to create. And this was an example. She took the agave and the colibri from our logo, and then she just put our name. She put a hashtag. I really love, I'm press pause. I really love how Gladys also brought in some of that that language to what you were saying, Profesora, and hashtags. You know, this is a, you know, a cultural, a language, you know, this is very cultural. This is a cultural part of language. That's okay. And I love that Gladys used that as an example. So here's an example where she walks you through the front. And then of course, she's going to walk you through navigating all of, and then here she jumps into just writing, right? So she just put our statement from our website. I'm going to just mute it so that we're not talking over each other. But in her tutorial, she really does walk you through all these little aspects, and, you know, gives you some examples of what that can look like. So here she wrote some text on the back, and she shows you how to do that. And then she'll walk you through how to actually download each of those files so that you can submit it to that page. And then, you know, a simple video on your iPad or on your iPhone. I guess I'm being biased, your Android, whichever, whichever. Is that helpful, Maria?
Yes. And also know that everything has been created. We're here to help. So if you're having a difficult time, just reach out and say, I really wanted to create this, and I don't know how to send it to you guys. Maybe the file is too large. So definitely communicate, because there's definitely ways that you could shrink it, and we could get that artwork to us for the art collection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're here to be your support in that as well. If it ends up being a big poster because you outline something and you have a bunch of first graders who all want to color in it, we'll make it work, right? There's always a way to make it work. And we're happy to do that with you. That's part of the creative process as well, right? That's part of the story. That's part of bringing this to life. But definitely click on this this Canva tutorial. Like I said, Gladys really does, very patient, walking you through, giving you a few scenarios and things that you can think about to get you started. This video again will be on there so that you can go to some of those QR codes if they want to inspire, you want to show the young people you're working with some examples, that's there as well. All in all, like Profesora Ternate says, this is all about you. This is all about you expressing, you know, I'm just even going back to thinking about you know, just teaching history, right? And teaching about various history. You have people who are using Minecraft to recreate the pyramids or archaeological sites, right? And the fact that young people are part, right, and the way that they are processing and, you know, and engaging in their learning, that is the most important part, is that, you know, we give young people and educators like to full creative license, and to get to know one another in the process. Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. So Maribel, Enseñamos team, do we have anything that's coming up that we need to answer before we close this video out?
Just to definitely submit, the sooner the better. The deadline to submit is the 22nd. Is that correct? October 22nd. Yeah. And that way you have the opportunity to have your artwork displayed during the Loteria night, and hopefully also at the Madden Library and in Arte America as well. So there's just great way to give back to our community. This is how you give back to our community in representing and just bringing everyone together to collaborate. So yeah, just join us, submit, and reach out if you need any more help. And there's just so many examples out there. So just use your creativity. Use your creativity, listen to your students, see what they love to express, because there's no limits. You know, get connected to qué significa enseñar en el Valle Central. Yeah. Who we are, represent who we are. And maybe one day Target will get us and they'll be selling our Loteria card.
You never know, man. You never know, right? You know, the other thing I'm thinking about is if you're watching and you're someone who, you know, maybe you're not going to do the Loteria card with young people, but this is your vibe, you like this, and you want to contribute, you know, maybe if we have folks who want to sponsor so that every submission, every class, you know, that what a dream, right? What a dream if we have anyone out there who wants to provide, you know, free art supplies for every classroom and every group, right? Community group, classroom group who wants to submit, you know, we're open to that, right? We're not soliciting, we're not, you know, like asking for that, but I know that people do get inspired by, you know, this kind of community work. And if that speaks to you and you're, you know, you're thinking, yeah, I would like to, you know, to honor everyone who submits, we're here. Contact us for that as well. Yes. Because we would like to, that would be nice. That would be definitely nice. Don't you think, Maribel?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Like you said, this is an amazing project. This is an amazing collaboration. It's just a collection of who we are in the Central Valley. And I think if you feel that this speaks to you, yes, help us out. And so we can make it even bigger.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, if, you know, after we put all this together and you attend the Noche de Loteria on November 19th, and this inspires you and you want to showcase this art and, you know, further elevate, you know, the work of young people and educators, we can do that too. So please know that there's a place and there's a role for everyone, right? Everyone could really contribute to this. And so we hope that this will inspire, you know, across the board. We really do. And stay in touch, continue to follow us. We'll give more updates. We'll provide some more support and resources, and just try to keep momentum and excitement. And then Maribel, you will be doing a Noche that you'll be doing a Loteria night. Your next one will be
October 15th.
Okay.
October 15th will be the next Loteria night for Arte Americas, and I plan to announce the art collection that we're trying to do here for Enseñamos en el Valle Central. I already started announcing it, so I hope that people start participating. Last time I had a good turnout of people playing Loteria, the traditional popular Loteria, but it's even more exciting when you know, oh, it's gonna bring, va a ser la carta mía, mine's coming up. That's even more exciting because you know that that's your representation of our Central Valley right there.
That's right. That's right. And I hope we see, you know, when you're in sports and you have the, what is it when they're picking all of their players and all the families show up, and when they call your name, everyone gets up. That's the vibe we want to bring, right? You know, young people doing art, and when their art gets thrown up, when Profesora calls calls that carta, everyone in the family, we want you to get up and just feel excited. Yeah, and I think that our communities need joy right now. Our communities need love, and this hopefully will bring a little bit of that. So October 15th,
Yes.
definitely follow us. We'll also be promoting and sharing the October 15th Loteria Night for Arte America. We'll get some more information on this there. And again, reach out, have fun. We cannot say that enough. And thank you just for being here or for listening. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.